Carol Baskin gets a new job, but on Dancing with the Stars, an eviction moratorium is issued, but by the CDC, and Steve Mnuchin calls up Nancy Pelosi to resume negotiations. And he compliments her on her new Mitch McConnell hairstyle. Good morning, everybody. It's morning's LALATE. Congratulations, you woke up on time, and here we are. You're here, I'm here. And Carol Baskin's about to dance with Dancing with the Stars. So, ABC's queuing up that Lion King theme song to get her on the dance floor. Thank you for joining us for the Net's most watched morning news show every morning at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11:30 a.m. Please like and subscribe and like this video as well. Let's get to the incredible great news overnight. Broke on LALATE.com. A federal eviction moratorium has been issued. Finally, after weeks and weeks and weeks of this channel reporting that the president was going to issue an eviction moratorium and that it was going to protect millions, tens of millions of Americans who are facing an eviction moratorium during this pandemic as they wait for their second stimulus checks, it was issued overnight. Let me get to the incredible details, who qualifies for them and what. And then after that, I'll be getting more to you incredible updates about your second stimulus checks, LWA, hazard pay, and then incredible interesting news this morning about the second wave of COVID-19. Let's get right to the details. First, with the eviction moratorium. A federal eviction moratorium was issued overnight. It protects renters and it protects mortgage owners. It was issued, ironically, by the CDC. It was issued pursuant to the Trump executive order, which this channel detailed no less than 3 weeks ago. If you recall, as I've been reporting on Rent every day at 5 o'clock, the Trump administration issued an executive order that said it was an eviction moratorium, but it did not create an eviction moratorium whatsoever, and claimed to create a mortgage forbearance, but didn't do it. This channel was deeply critical of the order and asked and hoped that someone in the Trump administration would understand the error and get it fixed in somehow. That fix came last night. The fix, ironically, comes from CDC, which the order empowered an agency to create an executive order, even though the order itself did not do it itself. It's sort of like, I'm not going to do it, but you can go do it. It's sort of like Nancy asking a hairdresser to look up the rules about wearing a mask or getting their hair done when hair salons are shut down. But the CDC eviction order was created overnight by CDC, and it bans some but not all evictions and some but not all mortgage foreclosures. Okay, who is covered and who is not? First, it covers all residential evictions. It does not cover commercial evictions. So if you're a commercial tenant, it doesn't cover you. Second, it bans evictions of homeowners or renters, meaning it covers if you're renting an apartment or if you're renting a home. So really great news there. It does not ban commercial evictions again. Third, it prevents all residential foreclosures. This is incredibly great news as well. So if you own your home, it can't be foreclosed upon if you're not making the mortgage obligations. It does not cover commercial foreclosures. Fourth, it covers you to the end of 2020. So our sunset period, remember the period in which the law expires, the expiration date is end of 2020. I don't have the exact date, but it looks like it's going to be December 31st, 2020. Finally, it does not cover everyone, but the great news is it covers a lot more than what some states like California and others were trying to do with their evictions. Let me tell you who it covers. It basically covers anyone who qualifies for a stimulus check. It uses the thresholds of the CARES Act, which is also going to be the threshold of the new stimulus package I'm going to detail to you in a second. Any individual with an income under $99,000 2019, or any married couple with income of $198,000 or less qualifies for these protections. The relief comes after weeks of this channel questioning the slowness of the Trump administration to get the eviction order out, and now it protects nearly 40 million evictions across the country, the worst number ever seen since the Great Depression. So this is incredibly great news. Now, additionally, this is what a lot of people aren't telling you. Additionally, this is also really great news, is it defers to states the ability to make more stringent but not more lenient eviction moratorium rules. So if states want to expand the rules and make them more stringent, it can. It just can't make them more lax. So for example, in Delaware, where all evictions are banned until 2021, that's fine because it can be more stringent. It just can't be more lax. For example, it can't just say, we'll just prevent eviction for less people. It can't do that. So really incredible news. So what does this mean for you? As I've been reporting for weeks, I mean, I swear, 35, 60 weeks. Today, as you wake up, congratulations, you cannot be evicted from your home. If you qualify for stimulus check, if you meet all the eligibility that I just went through, you cannot be evicted from your apartment starting today. Hallelujah. It does not mean you are forgiven for rent obligations. It just means that you cannot be evicted. Now, what I want you certainly to do, and I'll detail in this next couple of weeks, is that you need to be financially responsible coming into late December to ensure you have the rent ready as we come into the end of the eviction moratorium window, which currently is December, could expand it. That you need to ensure that you have the money ready there or you're ready to leave, because that is when you will be evicted. So this is incredible, great news. And one thing I want to make obvious that sometimes I don't always say is you actually have to have a lease. So if your lease was expiring today and you don't have a lease till tomorrow and you are hoping the landlord can renew it, there's nothing that requires the landlord to renew your lease. This is for people who actually have a lease pending. So really incredible, incredible news. This is the hallelujah moment this channel has hoped for you for months. Now, for my viewers who are homeless, who this order came too late, not soon enough, I'm sorry, but at least it'll protect you going forward. All right, so let me get to the other incredible details. So a second stimulus check will be coming to you. It will be coming to you in the month of September because the stimulus package that is brand new, brand new and crisp and newly blow-dried and set is about to be introduced to the Senate next week when the Senate reconsumes session. And yeah, I've seen some of your comments. It's like, why aren't they reconvening this week? Yeah, well, they're lazy. When they reconvene the Senate next week, they will see a brand new document. That document we do not have. It is not the skinny bill. It is not the HEALS Act. It is not the HEROES Act. It'll be a brand new stimulus package, which I told you before anyone else was going to be debuting, and I told you the details of it, the numbers of it, and why it's going to get approved and how it's going to pass. So let me explain to you first what is in it. First, it'll have about 5 provisions. The first one will be stimulus checks. $1,200 single individual, married couple, $2,400. Dependents will get a check. If you are a minor dependent, you'll get a check. If you're an adult dependent, you'll get a check. I had a nice kid send me a tweet yesterday. He's 18 years old and does his own tax return. He's as an independent, as a solo. Do I get a stimulus checks? Absolutely. Congratulations. In fact, you'll get a full stimulus check because you're not a dependent. You file your own tax returns. So congratulations to you. You absolutely get $1,200. Now, as a dependents, the Republicans have floated $500 for dependents for a while. So it could potentially come in the bills, $500 for dependents, whether you're a minor dependent or adult dependent. Child support, the Republicans initially took out for child support. I don't know where they're going to land with this one. The Democrats don't take out for child support. What I need you to understand, and I detailed that on that special last night, which is now our 3rd most watched video of the last 2 weeks, thank you for tuning in, is that when the bill is introduced, Mark Meadows wants everyone to stay very calm because he says the bill is the result of negotiations with Democrats in the Senate, Republicans in the Senate, but he sees still room for movement. So if you see a $500 dependent, I don't want you to get nervous. It could turn to $1,200 within 24 hours. If you see something about child support, I don't want you to get nervous. It could change somewhere to something different in the next 24 hours. All right, next thing, FPUC coming back. And this is the question I got the most often in the last 24 hours. I mean, I got like maybe 20 times. Will you have to repay LWA? No. No. You don't have to repay anyone LWA. People keep on asking me, do I have to give back LWA? LWA is not a loan. LWA is not like a bridge thing. It's like, okay, just use this for a little bit and then give it back to me. It's I was trying to make a hair joke, but it didn't come out right. It's just not that. The way it will work is that FPUC, which lands in the state coffers from the federal government, will then be reduced by any amount of money that states paid out in LWA. So if a state paid you $300 this week for LWA, then you're going to see your FPUC check for this week be reduced by $300. You don't have to give back the LWA money. So how is this going to happen, and what's going to happen under this proposal? The second provision of the second stimulus deal package coming next week is FPUC 2.0. It will be retroactive to the last date at which FPUC 1.0 expired, late July. It will likely land at $400. I've been reporting that now. I've been reporting $400 to $500 for upwards of 3 weeks, but I now think it is really going to be at about $400 because the $300 doesn't look like it's enough, the $500 is too much, the $600 is out of touch, and the $200 is crazy. So it's most likely to land at $400. It'll start from the first week at which FPUC expired 1.0 and go forward. It will be retroactive. So you should anticipate a big chunk of money landing in your account for retroactive benefits of upwards of maybe 8 weeks, because at that point we may be almost 8 weeks out from the expiration of FPUC 1.0. Again, it'll be the amount, let's say it's $400, minus any LWA you received each week. So if that's $300, that would give you $100. If you did not receive LWA, you'll get the full $400. It will not deduct, likely, for that $100 add-on that states are providing now in 4 states. Congratulations: Kentucky, Montana, West Virginia, Kansas, and Vermont. Oh, that's 5 states. Though that $100 likely is not deducted because that was a supplemental add-on from states. It has nothing to do with FPUC or LWA. So congratulations there. Finally, that $100 threshold that was created in the executive order that does not allow people to get LWA unless you have a $100 threshold, that's likely to be gone. FPUC 2.0 will likely extend all the way to the end of December. So really great news about that as well. All right, so let me get to some other great news. Oh boy, LWA is just the it's just the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, every day I'm just like, what? It's sort of like my reaction to seeing someone walk through the hair salon on closed circuit cameras. LWA is now paying 5 weeks of benefits. Holy crap. I'm like, what? Oh my goodness. Whoever was running that FEMA calculator that first week, I mean, take that and the Larry Kudlow calculator and throw it out the window because it's really bad. I don't know why FEMA was so inaccurate in reporting what we were going to expect when LWA went live. But remember I said 3 weeks, remember I said FEMA said 2 weeks, then they said 3 weeks, then they said 4 weeks. Well, congratulations if you're in the Lone Star State. You're going to the Super Bowl. Well, I'm not so sure about that. But you now have gotten 5 weeks of LWA. No less than 2 wonderful, charming viewers of this channel from the state of Texas, wonderful people in Texas, sent me DMs or IG DMs or something like that, or smoke signals, or, or, they posted in my hair salon so I could see it, that they got paid 5 weeks of LWA yesterday. It seems like it just sort of came yesterday. It's just like, bam, 5 weeks. So they woke up and saw $1,500 in their bank account. Congratulations, Texas. So this is incredible news because I've had so many viewers in Texas. And it's ironic. I have to give a little bit of a shade bit here. What's ironic is when I debuted this channel on April 25th with myself and 1 viewer at a beach behind me, and I was doing PUA. Over the next week, when PUA launched and FPUC launched and UI launched with FPUC on top of it, Texas wasn't paying crap. Texas didn't pay anything for FPUC 1.0 for months. Texas, Florida, Illinois. I remember my OGs of this channel. They weren't getting crap. The computer systems were down and backed up. So to think that Texas is on the ball and getting their act together and getting the money out so quickly for 5 weeks, hallelujah. I mean, wow, this 2020 is just, I guess they put Carol Baskin in charge of the computer systems. She's eating up the competition. Anyway, let's get to the other parts of the bill next week. Well, will the bill have an eviction moratorium in it? Apparently it doesn't need to anymore. I mean, this is incredible, great news. The remainder of the bill will be school funding for COVID issues, testing, and maybe bailout for airlines. The whole bill will come in at $550 or $500 billion, and it will be introduced to the Senate. It will be written by Mitch McConnell. It will be introduced to the Senate. It will get approval in the Senate quickly from both Republicans and Democrats, and then will pass to the Temple of Doom. The Temple of Doom will likely approve it, whether or not the Empress of Pettiness, the Princess of Pettiness, the the heiress of the hairstyle wants to see it or not, or send her fire-breathing dragons to deal with it. It will get approved in the House, because at this point, you're pushing up on late September, and it just looks insane. More insane than the hairstyle, but it looks insane to go into September and you don't have a stimulus package, and you're going to sit back as a Democrat and say, I'm just, I wanted to bail out of state, so no thank you. No, it's not going to happen. What's going to happen is it's going to get approved, then it'll be signed by the president, and then everything will go out. Stimulus checks 10 days thereafter. Really great news. Finally, hazard pay. If you watched my hazard pay video yesterday, I appreciate your responses. I thought I was just going to, I just thought people were going to throw the computer out, because it's just very hard to report bad news. And the bad news I reported yesterday is that this stimulus package next week is not going to have hazard pay in it. It's just absolutely not. And the reaction was very positive. The people basically said, hey, I always thought there's going to be problems with hazard pay. It's so much money. They're having problems getting us $1,200, and now we're waiting around for $10,000. It's just, it always seemed like a hard push. Well, it is a hard push. And so it's going to come in what's called I'm going to basically call it the fourth stimulus package. I'll be doing stimulus packages to 2023. It's called the fourth stimulus package, and it'll be done after this one. It'll be about $650 billion, and the $650 billion will bring the total of the two packages to about $1.3 to $1.7 trillion, and that will include bailout of states, funding for states and local, potentially hazard pay, PPP, maybe EIDL. If you're really wanting that EIDL grant and loan, please tag everyone. Please tag. What I got to tell you is that your purple power is really pushing the envelope. Don't think that these people don't see your tweets. If you don't understand, if someone has a Twitter account of, let's say, I would say about 400,000 or less followers, they see your tweets. Their account is not that big that they don't see your tweets. It's like, you have 2 million followers and you're getting your hair blown out, it's where you don't really notice things, or you just, don't want to notice them. But if if you're Mark Meadows and you have, 300,000 followers, or you're Mnuchin and you have, 200, 300,000, they see 100 tweets an hour saying, how dare you leave out hazard pay, or how dare they see that. Believe me, it's not like they aren't on social media. They have to sign in to say, what hair salon's open tonight? Can you send me the Yelp link, please? They have to sign in, so they see your comments. Finally, what should you expect going forward, as I detailed in the special last night, is that I want you to really keep an open eye and an open ear, because you're going to see a bill that you've never seen before. It's going to have a name that you never heard before. You're going to hear the Princess of Pettiness say, no, 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 no. We really don't care what she says anymore. That's literally my tweet. I don't care what she says anymore, because it's no longer her ball of wax. Fourth, you're going to see the real ramp up of elected officials or people running for elective office really trying to get things done for purposes of their gain. Yeah, I mean, that's the way it works. And finally, you're going to see the federal budget, which is very important. It has to be done by September 30th. This is not done. The government shuts down. Finally, I promised you I was going to give you some incredible details about COVID. New reports out from today, including Catherine Smallwood, Senior Emergency Officer with WHO Europe, says that the winter is coming. It's a worrying trend. She says unreasonable hypothesis to think that it's going to get worse in the winter. It's going to get worse. It's not a ridiculous notion to float. There just isn't any evidence that's going away. Opening without having control is a recipe for disaster, said the United Nations minutes ago. People in schools, workplaces can turn up to work with coughs and colds and spread them around to people. They can't do this year because you know how it's more simplest? You can't do it. Winter is coming. They saw a 6% increase in COVID last week compared to the 72% the week of June, so it's still going up. Winter is coming, says Catherine. People are traveling more, they're going back to work, schools are reopening. These are the factors that are going to increase the risk of community transmission. As we approach the flu season in the winter months, there are additional factors that will conflict and will add additional levels of risk. So please stay safe. Please stay informed. Coming up afternoons, LALATE is going to be big details. That starts at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. As always, your patronage of this channel is greatly supported. So do me 3 favors. First, go to the front of this channel and subscribe and hit the alert button. 231,000 followers yesterday. Thank you so much. We're trying to get to 250,000 in the next 2 weeks. So trying to add about 20,000 followers more. Next, like this video. It helps the algorithm. It helps this video go higher in the likes. I think yesterday's morning's LALATE video had almost 15,000 likes. It was an enormous number. So let's get the likes up so people find this video who are new to YouTube and they find a video that's ripe with a lot of information and not superlatives and falsehoods. As always, thank you for tuning in. Have a great morning. I hope the butter in the toast is good. The coffee is percolating and the bacon is griddling on the griddle. As always, stay informed, stay motivated, stay smiling, and stay with LA for more.